Hello, my friends. This is a bit of an update and a bit of a realization that I had, and I figured I'd shoot a video about it and share everything. So recently, my wife and I moved to Colorado from New York, Queens in New York to be exact. And when we moved in, I ended up moving everything myself, and I put everything on my back and I'm bringing it up the stairs. And I accidentally injured myself during the move. And it took me out of commission for about a month. I went to the emergency clinic the other day, and it turns out it's a gastrointestinal issue. And I'm on some medicine, and I'm feeling a million times better. For the past month, I couldn't even walk around. I couldn't get up. I couldn't eat anything. And I was feeling really, really like at the end of my wits. And I dealt with something like this before. And usually it would go away after a day or two, or maybe a week at most. But this was a month. So we went to the clinic. I got checked out. I got prodded and probed and specimenized. And I actually thought I was having a heart attack at one point. I actually thought that I was having a heart attack. But it's not that at all. It's GI tract problems. And I'm on the mend. One of the things that happens when you're not feeling well or you're sick or you're in a lot of pain is that you end up spending a lot of time up in your head, and you spend a lot of time thinking about things. And I've come to the realization that the environment that we lived in Queens on Fresh Pond Road was just absolutely toxic. Now, I'm not talking about all of New York, because if you can afford it, there are some very nice places to live in New York City. Now, I want to show you exactly where I lived before I talk about the experience. I got Google Maps up here, and I'm going to be able to show you exactly where I lived and what was happening. So this is actually the apartment building that I lived in. I lived in this building on 6821. This is Fresh Pond Road in Queens, New York. Fresh Pond Road, right? So I'm right here. I'm in this apartment building. I'm on this floor. Now, this is a very busy street. You can see all the cars moving, and this is always constantly having things going on. Now, let me show you all of the noise around us. Now, first of all, just traffic during the day, but that's going to happen anywhere in New York City. But I want you to pay attention to something. We've got some traffic lights. We've got 1, 2, 3. And then we got this way, we've got 4, 5. Now, not too far from here, just around the corner, just down the street where this traffic light is, Catalpa, there is a police station. There's a police station. And what happens is the police will come through here, and they'll chirp their sirens every time they go through one of these lights, whether it's red or green. And it's usually at night, and it's usually at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they chirp their lights through all 5 of these lights. Now, like I said, my apartment is literally right here. So this light is right here, and they chirp it. They start chirping it doot, 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 right here when they're going this way. So it's like right in front of the window. This happens at least like every 45 minutes, every day, all day. We didn't notice this until the pandemic, and it stopped. And the other thing that we noticed was the sirens. All day, every day, at least every hour, if not every half hour. Woo, the siren, and right there, that's a concrete corridor. So those sirens just reverberate into the building. Now, when we moved in, it wasn't that bad. It was actually tolerable. But it was after the pandemic that things got really bad with all the sirens and the chirping. And it was just the most toxic sonic environment. Now, add on to that right up here, we've got the bus depot. This is the MTA bus depot that services all of the buses in Queens. And at night, what happens is these buses will get lined up all down Fresh Pond Road, down past our apartment, all the way down past Catalpa, all the way down here. Right? And then they're just idling. Those diesel trucks are just idling. It's insane. They're electric, but the electrics run on diesel. They're not battery electrics. They're diesel electrics, like a train. So all the sound pollution, all the noise pollution, all the air pollution, I didn't realize until we get here in Colorado, and there's none of that. And I'm like, oh my God, I was literally in fight or flight mode all day, every day, from the sirens. From the sirens. When we got here, I think we were moving in, and I heard a siren out on the highway. I mean, they happen once a week, maybe twice a week. Not every day. Not every day. And the other thing that we don't hear here are car horns. There are no car horns. The amount of car horns that I would hear every day. I worked from home, so I was there all the time. Even though I would be in the back room with a couple of doors closed, didn't matter. That's a concrete amphitheater, that place, with all those buildings and stuff. It was insane. And I didn't realize it at the time that I was in fight or flight mode all the time. Because when you're in something like that, you don't know it. You don't know that you're white knuckling it the whole time. It changed who I was. It changed how I interacted with the world. And it really got under my skin, and it changed me. It changed me. And because of that, it changed my personality, and I became really abrasive. I became something other than myself. Well, it was myself, but it was in response to that toxic environment. And now that I'm not there, I could see how, while I was there, it affected me. It affected all of my relationships. With few example, I think I probably ruined most of the friendships that I had, as well as a lot of family stuff, because I was in fight or flight mode and I did not know it. And the environment had its impact on me. And again, I didn't know any of this stuff at the time. It's not a justification for anything I said or did. It's just, the truth. And I see it now. When we moved to Colorado, we were still white knuckling it for a while because of our stupid friggin' landlord crossing boundaries and trying to be my friend, but not being my friend and being inappropriate. There's a whole story there that I'm just not going to get into, because I'm done with it, and I really just don't want to, I don't want that energy anymore, I think that when we left New York, I was still scared, and I was still operating from just got to take whatever gets thrown our way. But my wife, she's amazing. Oh my God, she's amazing. She got a job managing a store, and we were able to get out of where we were. And now that we're out of there and there's no more proverbial, got to do this or whatever, I'm not in that mode, and I see everything so clearly. And I feel like I haven't been this clear in my own head in a decade or more. Being in a mode that's fight or flight makes everything black and white, makes everything do or die, makes everything white knuckling it. It makes everything the most intense experience of your life. No one wants to be around that. I get that. I probably wouldn't want to be around it. Through it all, I tried to make music and art to keep my sanity. And it was an escape from the fear. Whatever that escape looked like, it helped me stay sane through all of it, to calm down, to not be a part of the insanity. And I can see how the music and the art that I made may, from the surface, seem simple or overly bland. But when you've got chaos inside screaming at you, you want something that's going to take you away from that. So you want the opposite of that. And now that I'm here, I'm actually able to be in that glacial place without having to oppress anything. I find myself not looking to escape, not looking to get away, actually be here. And while I was in New York, I definitely consumed a lot of cannabis, I'm not going to lie. And since we've moved to Colorado, that has gone down by 90%. There's no pressure. There's no oppressive noise. And, I didn't realize it until literally today. And like I just showed you with the Google Maps, the location, all 5 of those lights. The one thing I didn't show you, let's take a look again, is there's an elementary school. There's an elementary school right here on the corner of Catalpa. See the crossing guards right here? This is an elementary school. And the playground is right down the street here. Right? I love kids playing. I think it's fantastic. I absolutely enjoy it. I love children, But if you're recording a session and you want to do some vocals and then you've got like kids screaming in the background, or you're trying to do some sound design, it, even with, it makes things challenging. So the sound pollution and the other thing was the bus depot with all the diesel and all the ozone. It was just, I did not realize. And now that we're out here in the mountains with like a river right outside, stream, it's absolutely beautiful. And sure, we're a stone's throw from a highway. That's been this apartment that was Fresh Pond, but it doesn't matter. You can't compare the two. This is Colorado. This is absolutely amazing. Driving my wife to work, we see bighorn sheep, deer. I saw a herd of bison when I was driving her to work in Boulder. 200 strong herd of bison. Amazing thing. Herds of elk. It's just fantastic. I love it here. It's beautiful. Glad to be out of Fresh Pond Road. I'm glad to be out of New York too. The city specifically, it really changed. It really did. Those, without getting too deep into it, the rumors about all of the migrants they went to Queens. And that was a big part of what happened after the pandemic. And that's when everything got really bad with the sound and the sirens and everything. I love everybody. I really do. I don't care where you're from or anything, I don't care. I love you. But that was just a horrible, horrible location. It was definitely toxic. The 5 lights, the subway station, the bus depot, the school, the police station. I mean, it was just all so much. Couldn't open a window. And if you did, it was the fumes and the sounds. But I realized it was a location that had me on edge, and it changed me it really had a negative impact. And now that I'm out here, I'm healing. I'm able to put some music out. I'm going back, and I'm actually able to appreciate a lot of the stuff that I'd done. So putting a lot of the trans-electronic theory stuff out. I just put a big 36-minute video out. I'm going to put 8 individual videos out and make some nice thumbnails with some words on them. And it's been a month. You know, it's hard to take a month off from posting. And I did not mean to. I did not want to. It's simply, I got sick and I literally couldn't get out of bed. But I'm feeling better. And it was through that experience I was able to have this magnificent realization and able to move forward with everything. You know, when you figure out, at least for me, when I figure out like the source of the issue, right? Like that noise pollution caused me to see the world differently, caused me to interact with people differently, caused me to have a different attitude about everything, caused me to be a different person. And the longer I was there, the stronger it got. Until the end, I was just insane. I was so insane. And the entire time I was in Longmont here in Colorado, I was still decompressing, but I still had this constant fear. I mean, I wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. So we've been here about a month. And it's only for a month that I felt like I could relax. And I was also like out of commission that whole time, laid up in bed, just thinking and in pain. Yeah. It's a lot. Moving is a lot. Packing your life up and going to a different state, that's a big thing. Halfway across the country, that's a huge thing. It's also expensive. So, yeah. But we're here and happy to be not knuckling it anymore, for sure. All right. Look forward to more awesome videos coming up. And thanks for watching. Cheers.